Most, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and the Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakah Kwadash. And double honors to the apostles of the Great Millstone, and salutations to the Yakim that's forwarding this ministry and exhorting Yahushua in continuance and in diligence, and most importantly, out of the sincerity of your hearts. And shalom to those that are heeding to the ministry as well. It's the brother Monica coming at you with another video. And in this video, I want to talk about how there was cocaine found in the House of Parliament down here in England. And, you know, I got inspired by the video because he was bringing out an article which was somewhat similar to this. But the difference of the article that the brother was getting into, it involved two individuals in their spaces were found traces of cocaine. That's Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of this country, and Priti Patel. So in this article, it's stating that traces of cocaine is found in the UK Parliament, including near Boris Johnson's office, reports. And this is nothing new. Like, politicians down here in the UK that we know of have been on the white, and now they're just bringing it back up all over again because maybe it's getting worse. And if it is getting worse, I'm not surprised, because these politicians, man, to be exact, the member of parliament, the House of Parliament, that is, they look like they're very well under stress, man, because they have an agenda that they have to forward, and they don't really, as it looks of it, don't want to forward the agenda, because they know that it's going to come with a backlash, and it's already in prophecy that that's going to be the case. People already have a seditious mentality already, so something else is going to happen to where people are going to pretty much be provoked into resorting to the violence and coming down on their government with great wrath, which is in the book of Ezra 15, where it says that they should not disregard, that they should disregard their princes and their kings, and that the power shall be in their hands. I'm roughly paraphrasing the precept there, but that's the prophecy. People are going to be moved into fighting their government, and this is what their fear is. This is why they're on the white. And that kind of sort of thing. So let's get into this article. It says police in the UK have been contacted over reports of cocaine use in the British Parliament. The Associated Press reported on Monday. The accounts of drug misuse in Parliament. Excuse me, I'm a little bit under the weather, so just bear with me. I know my voice sounds a bit horsey. It says times are deeply concerning, and I will be raising them as a priority with the Metropolitan Police this week. House of Commons Speaker Lindsay Hall said in the statement, "I expect to see full and effective enforcement of the law." Hoyle contacted the police following a Sunday Time report that pointed to the use of illegal drugs in Parliament buildings. Drug detections. Wipes found traces of cocaine in 11 out of 12 bathrooms tested on the premises, according to the report, including a laboratory close to British Prime Minister Boris Johnson's office. The bathroom tested included some only accessible to those who hold parliamentary passes, including lawmakers, staffers, and journalists. And just to say this, man, this is not a good look for England in general, because England is supposed to be the country that's supposed to exhort this standard towards the world, and you have these leaders that are going contrary to going according to that standard, and they're doing something that's low down and dirty, man, indulging in drugs, illegal drugs, the same stuff that if we were found doing or selling, we could get arrested for it, but they're able to just do this stuff. So really and technically, you know, these leaders, these so-called leaders, because our real leaders is in the heavens, man. You know, our real leaders are the spiritual leaders in heaven, Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahweh Shai. You know, that's who's really guiding us and leading us through the ways of this wicked world anyway. But you know, the leaders of this world, especially down here in England, are supposed to carry the standard of what England is and show the world what England is supposed to be towards the world. They're supposed to continue in the standard which was set, that they set towards the world. But again, you have these leaders that are not doing that, man, because what it is they're under a lot of stress, and they gotta turn to these illegal Class A drugs. And even though, as I've read in the article, Lindsay Hole, as she said, I'll read it again, said in the statement, "I expect to see full and effective enforcement of the law." Now, if you're the prime minister, you could pretty much do whatever the hell you want. And I've done a couple of videos on regarding this thing that I'm going to say. And what I'm going to say is, you have people that are on earth that are very powerful, and they can commit a crime and just get off scot-free without having to see a day in court. You know, there's people on this earth that can kill as much people as they can right in front of police officers, or including police officers, and don't have to see a day in court. Okay? And especially if you're the prime minister, if you're a prime minister of the country and you're a part of a powerful group, you could do what the fuck you want, basically. You know what I'm saying? But see, the people that are not a part of the conglomerate, they can't do what they want. And I was reading an article on how this same government, the leaders that lead this government, this country, should I say, what they are seeking out to doing is taking away the license and your passport, especially those that are using this drug that they're using in the middle class. And it just goes to show you how hypocritical these Edomites really are. And I mean, their hypocrisy is legendary, man. That's why it says in the book of Job 20, where it says, "The joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment. The triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment." Because the ultimate hypocrite ones on the earth are these Edomites. They can't help but be hypocritical. They say one thing, and then they do the same thing that they tell you not to do. It's ridiculous. Proverbs 17, verse 20, and this is the ultimate reason why these leaders are just resorting into snorting cocaine, man, because they just throw it in the heart. Like, and just the thing about it, like, you know, how could you really respect someone that snorts cocaine up their nose, man? Think about that. You know, how could you really value a person like that, man? You know, like, that's a low down, unmoral thing to do from the outside looking in. You know, from a pure mind standpoint point of view, Lord willing, you know, my mind remains to be pure. But it's dirty, man. Okay. So this is Proverbs 17, verse 20. "He that have a froward heart findeth no good, and he that have a perverse tongue falleth into mischief." And that's all they get up into doing, is meditating on evil and wickedness. That's why there's been so many unrighteous decrees passed. Let's read something else. Proverbs 11, verse 9. It says, "An hypocrite with his mouth destroyeth his neighbor, but through the knowledge shall the just be delivered." Exactly. Because they want to get on the regular citizens within the middle class. If they use the same drugs that they're using, they want to penalize them and taking away their passports and their license from them. But wait a minute, bro, you're using the same drugs. How can you lead the country How can you tell people how can you command people to do something or not to do something if you're doing or not doing the same thing? You can't make logical sense of that. All right. And this is just an indication more so that this devil is about fall apart, because they're under a lot of tension and they can't hack it. They can't hold it together. So that's all I have to say on that regard. I want to pull out another precept now. We're going to get Jeremiah 49 verse 7. It says, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? His counsel is perished from the prudent. Is their wisdom vanished? And that's exactly right. They're not as shrewd as they once were. They're very sloppy now, especially when it comes to them forwarding their agenda, even with their psychological operations and all of that stuff, man. They're mumbling and fumbling with their words. And they ain't got it. They no longer have what it takes to dominate the earth like they used to. And you got the powers that you don't see that are picking these so-called frontier leaders to be leading the people. But these people can't lead. These people can't even take care of themselves. But these people were handpicked to leading the general public. Like, come on, man. So, Esau ain't got the juice anymore. And it's just an indication, as I'm going to say again, that they're at their end, and we're seeing it. And it's just as I'm going to say again, it's just an indication that they're at their end. And it's just going to be a short period of time before the Lord comes back and destroys them. Let's read verse 8. Flee ye and turn back, dwell deep, O ye inhabitants of the Dan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him in the time that I will visit him. And that's soon to come. It's very well soon to come. Let's get Proverbs 6, verse 12. A naughty person, a wicked man walketh with a froward mouth. No, let's go up. Let's start with verse 12. It says, a naughty person, a wicked man walketh with a froward mouth. He winketh with his eyes, and he speaketh with his feet, and he teacheth with his fingers. Frowardness is in his heart, and he deviseth mischief continually, and he soweth discord. Therefore shall his calamity come suddenly. Suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. And this is the Masonic scripture, because the Masons, they show like hand gestures and signs, and they wink with their eye to form the all-seeing eye, which goes back to the eyes of Horus, which is nothing but Egyptology and stuff of that nature. So as the scripture says in Proverbs 6 and 15 to be exact, it says, therefore shall his calamity come suddenly, and suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. And that's what we're drawn closer to, soon at bay. So that's all I have to say with this. I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Arakah, Quadash. And with that, I'm closing, and I say Shalom over and